Hello, everybody.
I thought you were bluffing.
Yeah,
and you weren't actually gonna do it.
So on the break, we ran out of break time. We ran our 5 minutes, and I said to Katie May, I was like, "Well, I guess it's just me and you. So, how's Road doing?"
Road's fine. Road's, I feel like the more she doesn't see the rest of the party, the mentally healthier she becomes.
Yeah. Just really embracing her fake life.
I think that we're all terrible for each other. I think that's the thing. Oh, we got a glimpse. We keep seeing
there's
like
some legs. We got people
shadows.
coming in and out. That's fine. So, yeah, like, does she? How much does she embrace? So I guess there's the moment where she gets to watch the whole thing go down. She sees what happens between Vraska and Asperia, right? You see Vraska leave, having killed your new boss. Like, this is a very, very big deal. This is like a political assassination. So do you do anything following that? Or do you
I definitely made sure Tack got where they were going safe.
Well, so that was going to be my question. Yeah. Do you go and like the two of you have like a hushed conversation? Like, oh my God, you just see that? What the hell just happened? Or do you go in different directions and
because we were
meet
on
up
like
later?
Opposite sides of the arena, right?
Yeah. You kind of saw each other both in the shadows on either side as the place had cleared out. And now there's this like sort of crumbling statue of Asperia that is Asperia. And then, Vraska, we see her turn and she walks by and she gave Tack a look like, see, I told you. And then she leaves.
It was hot. Yeah.
Yes, I think we can all agree that's true.
Yeah. I think it wouldn't be too hard for Road to kind of like shadow step over there, but I think that's like, she's like, oh, I'll just shadow step over there. And she was like, I'm a mild-mannered desk jockey now. Oh no. So I think that's like her natural inclination, because I think that she's immediately worried about Tack, but Tack is also self-sustaining.
In spite of everything.
In spite of everything, Tack is self-sustaining. So I think that like Road will walk over there to make sure that Tack isn't immediately held up by any arresting forces, but otherwise won't try to intervene too harshly in Tack getting to safety, I think.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Tack, you see after everything that happened, you see Road walking in your direction.
Yellow. Oh, sorry. I was closing my door because the cat came out of the bedroom and was like, hey, what's up?
Hey, what's
I see
happening?
those wires coming out of your computer. Can I touch
Something
them?
that doesn't involve me, I'd love to get involved. So Tack, you see Road coming over. You just witnessed the same thing that
we just saw Asperia got.
Yeah, extremely got.
Bless your heart, Adam. Yes, extremely got.
So got.
Rather. Yeah, I think so. The way that I am approaching Tack's relationship with Road nowadays is that, you know how like whenever you're sick and then like one of your parents dotes on you and you immediately like develop, or like when you're going to sleep and you hear like one parent's voice when you're asleep and things like that. And so you sort of like develop that bond with them because they're like caring, they took care of you when you felt bad, things like that. I think that's how Tack thinks of Road after Tack got like Demir flashed. Not necessarily like their mom, but if there's a person on the team to trust, it is Road. In spite of Road saying that Winnegar and Torgor are off the hook for drugging her. Even though she didn't say it in that many words, she was just like, remember when they did that one thing, forget about it. It's not a big deal. They talked to me about it, which could mean anything in Tack's mind, but we're going to attribute it to the thing that's important to the plot. But yeah, I think Tack would wait for Road to approach them, like wouldn't like scatter.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So Road, you make your way over there and
Did you know about that? Did you see the
dead person in the middle of the room?
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I figured it was like a Golgari sort of thing, and if anyone was going to know about it, it would be you.
Why me?
Because you're also Golgari. I don't want to.
You should leave.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
We should go, because I didn't
think
know
we
about
should.
this, and that would be absurd to think, because I don't even hang out at home. Anyway, let's go.
Okay.
I feel like there's a deception check that needs to be made here.
Yeah, I think that's
You
fair.
mean a deception check that needs to be failed right here?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see how convincing Tech is actually being.
I'm surprised I even have positives in deception, considering my charisma.
The 16.
Hey,
Okay.
All right, so Road, make an insight check.
is insight
Oh
wisdom?
my
And
god!
against
Look at
a
that.
7
On
with
my
a
life.
+6, which means it was a nat 1,
Another
folks, for the ones
7.
back at
Big
home.
old one. Yep.
Big
All
old
right.
one.
Let me just.
So-
I'm gonna.
We're
One
back.
second. Let me
We're
just.
back, Roll20.
I just savor this moment because I like to imagine that Tack has "I am a liar" written on their face. in
Pretty
lipstick.
much. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you can interpret it how you want, but it seems to you that Tack had no no foreknowledge of this. Whether this was a Golgari plot from the beginning, who knows? But Tack does not seem involved. And as the
Great.
two of you go to hustle out of the room, you notice somebody is coming. They're coming through the main entrance, like down on the floor. Yeah, you hear footsteps, and they echo off of the walls. Do you stick around to find out who it is, or do you want to get out of here before they arrive?
I look at Tack, sort of in a, what do you want to do?
The Queen Cop just got killed in the cop house.
We're gonna get out of here, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, you dip out of there. Where do the two of you go? Do you split, or do you stick together? Do you leave the new prov, or do you stay?
I have to think about my job now, is the bad part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because technically, I think it sort of said that like once I finished my meeting, once I finished being an assistant at the meeting, I had the rest of the day off, or did I go back to work?
I think that's fair. Yeah, that seems fair to me.
Until you get a beeper that says Cop Queen is
Right. So you neither of you know the internal protocols of the Azoria Senate very well yet, but as soon as somebody finds out Asperia is dead, then the whole place is gonna like go on lockdown. Ravnica is gonna get like turned upside down as people go looking for the killer. And Vraska, she's the only Gorgon who was at that meeting, and it's pretty hard to turn somebody to stone unless you're a Gorgon. So this is it could very easily turn into like war between the Golgari and the Azorius.
Oh my gosh, we're like Romeo and Juliet, but not.
Oh my god, we're like Romeo. I was just thinking the same thing. Star-crossed lovers we are.
I know.
I think I'm gonna try to get Tack to go back to the host in the shell with me, just to like drop them off to make sure they're not doing shenanigans in the Golgari and then be
first
like,
of all,
okay,
yeah,
cool, you're good here. You can stay here. I'll hire a babysitter. It's Torgor or Winnegar, and then I'll double back.
yeah. Tack's
to my
immediate, like Tack. I think that we've set enough cop places on fire, that we know the typical tactics. I'm mad.
Yep.
And that's usually like jump out like a criminal and hide somewhere like a trash can or something. And so that's what Tack's like immediate thing is. It's like, we should get in a trash can.
I'm not getting in a trash can with you.
You can't have my trash can. You can have your own trash can.
Do you think that they make trash cans I'm not going to be in a trash can because the trash can that would be big enough for me is a dumpster, and I'm not crawling inside of a dumpster.
I mean, you say that.
You said it, not me.
I can just pass without a trace and we can just go home.
All right, I guess you want to waste magic on dumb stuff like that.
Getting us home safe is not.
Tack does not know how magic works.
Yeah,
Tack doesn't know, like, oh, we're invisible. Oh, you can make meteors come from the sky. Oh, you can talk to dinosaurs. I don't know.
All magic is the same.
Tack's like, yeah, okay, if you want to waste it on that, that's fine.
Yeah, waste it on this is what I'll do.
Okay.
And then I'll pass without a trace us back, I think.
Okay. All right. So both of you make stealth checks. You get a +10 on them.
Yeah.
And the two of you are already relatively stealthy, so you should be
stealthy.
Yeah, with dim
okay,
rogue
so
levels.
23.
23.
32.
32. Yeah, you're fine. Okay. All right. So I think what happens is that we still see you, and you're not invisible, but it's that kind of like the shadow where it's like I'm standing right here, but I'm forcing you to look past me or like around me, like you ignore me. So you're walking. We see the two of you just walking down the hall, and for the first few minutes, things are relatively like normal, right? We see people working at their desk. We see people cleaning up from the summit. There's like general gossip in the hallways about like the summit not going very well, and that Niv Mizzet, he's crazy, he's out of touch. Like, why would he think that anyone would let him become the Guildpact? That's insane. That's just an is it play. And then other people are like, I don't know, like he sounded pretty convincing. And so there's all this like kind of spreading gossip, and then an alarm starts to sound. And this is the like everyone to your posts, shit is happening alarm. And normally for you, Road, as a like desk, like a legal aid, you would be instructed to return to your office and stay at your desk until somebody came by and told you to leave. So if you leave, they'll notice that you're gone, but it's not like you're brand new. Nobody's gonna come looking for you. They're gonna be like, whose desk is that? Isn't that the new girl's desk? Like you're pretty good to go. But so it kicks in, and everybody who is an arrestor or a law mage or whatever, they like snap into action. Lots of running and shouting. Everybody else gets a little panicky and is just kind of like, we have to get to safety. Let's go back. We don't know if this is a fire drill or are we being attacked. Somebody is like, oh my God, it's just like he said, the war, it's happening. And everybody's panicking a little bit. But in all that chaos, Tack and Road, you are able to walk out just as the arresters like shut the doors to New Prav and start putting up a perimeter, right? Nobody in, nobody out. We have to find it. And I think even now the news that is spreading is that somebody important got killed, but some people are saying it was Dovin Ban. Other people are saying that it was Asperia. Somebody says that it was Niv Mizzet got killed. Like there's a lot of rumor talk, but you slip out before the big doors like slam shut and lock everybody in or out of there. A crowd has sort of started to gather. I mean, there was already the big crowd around New Prav, right? So you just slip
Right.
into that crowd and disappear.
Hopefully. That would be nice.
Yeah. So we I think we don't necessarily follow you. We just crossfade to a little later in the day. You arriving at the Host in the Shell. Now, Torgor, have you taken to just like, do you just like live in your office at the like writer's room at Rick's Mahdi, or do you come home sometimes?
Sometimes. Well, I wanted to ask you, how long has it been since the process started? Because I feel like
you've only been working on this a couple of days.
Okay, then yeah, I'm still at the like my office. I'm living there, like in and out, just like stains from like takeout boxes all over my shirt, like just like the way I would imagine was the doors shut on New Prav and the doors to the writer's room open for a break. It's like, all right, everyone's on break, back in half an hour. We got another couple of rewrites I need to look at.
Yeah. Cool. So we see a bunch of, and I just love the idea of like imagining what a Rakdos writer looks like, like it's really easy to imagine the murder clowns and like the demons and stuff. But these people that you're working with are both like theatrical writers. They're playwrights, but they're also like demon worshiping cult right? Like they're yeah, it's a very strange thing to imagine.
Moulin Rouge for some reason.
Well, I'm picturing like
I love it.
people in like the long like robes, like but like with like really heavy like eyeshadow all the way around their eyes, and like just like heavy like face makeup that's going on. But just to me, like, really, that Minotaur is honestly, I know it sounds it. He's a bull in that room. Okay, he really is. And if he hears me, I don't care. Like, like
is that racist?
It is. It is. For the record,
no.
it is.
But remember, we talked about this. There are no cows in Ravnica. There are no like actual.
Okay, but still, that's
so we
like
could use
clearly.
The word as.
Yeah, but that's clearly derogatory in reference to his race.
Yeah.
It's
Rude.
okay.
We found him.
Torgor,
The one racist in Ravnica.
Torgor
He dies of a
knows.
heart attack immediately. Just falls down.
Good. He just dies right
Yeah.
there, and they think, what if they think that that's what happens if you talk bad about Torgor? I'm sorry. Please go ahead, Missy.
People die in Rick's Mighty for no reason all the time.
Absolutely.
So yeah, they'll go to get lunch, and yeah, you're in the room there. Do you leave too, or do you just stay there by yourself waiting for everybody to come back?
I think Torgor digs around, finds another like half-eaten tray, and just like finishes whatever's in there, then goes back and like looks over all the scripts, and like through this time is just like organizing things, putting things together. It's like, yeah, you know, I think we're in a pretty good place. Just a couple things with this closing number needs to come together, but hey, that's how it goes, you know. So they tell me, but yeah, it's coming together all right.
So far, you are, and this is gonna be news for Carlos. So this is what Torgor has been up to. Torgor has been drafted to create a stage performance of some kind for the personal entertainment of Judith, who is like a big deal member of sort of the inner circle of Rakdos. And Torgor is going to be given this opportunity to impress his way into an audience with the demon Rakdos himself. But he's got to put together this So where are you leaning for like right now so far? Is it going to be like a puppet show? Are we thinking circus performance, rock concert, rock opera, perhaps about Torgor? What's the angle so far?
Truly, it's like a musical of like a grand opera format that's done in the style of The King and I. So it's a lot of like transitions to like different locations and like sweeping numbers underneath of this like large band. And Torgor will be on stage performing with his lute while playing along.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So I imagine like an opening of like Torgor as like simple, like humble troubadour, right? All alone. The stage is all unlit. There's a single spotlight on you. You start to play, and then the house lights would come, or the bigger lights would come up, and you'd see there's like an orchestra, and that's awesome. So you're like narrating your own story.
Absolutely.
But it's gonna be a big to do. Yeah.
Oh, and there's gonna be music interwoven throughout that is also gonna be, because Torgor has been spending a lot of time with this, and I leveled up last session, took a level in Bard. So I imagine the music that's being created, like for like the funny numbers, has like Tasha's hideous laughter like imbued within it to like draw out like bigger, like really like Rakdos laughs that are like somewhat mean, like really cultivated in this style. And like, yeah, really excited about it.
Nice.
Torgor's like, oh, this is going well. Let's see what happens when I roll for the performance. But until then,
I feel like Rakdos music is either like Skrillex, but instead of dubstep, he's playing one of those awful. What are those old musical instruments called?
I think it's an organ grinder. Is that really?
No, but the organ grinder is the guy, but the thing he's playing, it has a specific name, and it's horrible. They're horrible to listen to. They're really, really loud. They play them at circuses where they just grind the thing, or it's guar, right?
Yeah. Or it's guar.
It's either old timey circus Skrillex or it's guar. Yeah.
I don't know what that is, and I'm afraid to ask.
A hurdy-gurdy, is that it?
No, it's something.
No, it's a street organ, is what it's called.
It's got a name. I remember Calliope. Thank you, Ex Machinus. That's the word. Calliope. That's what I was looking for. Yes. Yeah. So, I imagine it'll be the kind of, musically and performance-wise, it'll be the kind of thing that like people who are fans of Amanda Palmer would be really into. You know, like when I say that, I know you know what I mean in terms of like tone. I know that I can just say that, and you're like, oh, like it's a little bit on the nose. So, okay, all right. So you're working on this. You've got your scripts sorted out. But you know, it's going to be a long process. I think rather than make one single roll that's the whole thing, I think we can make it like a project, basically, where as you work on it, we'll continue kind of adding. So let's just do a progress. Let's do a progress roll on the writing now.
And he did lose his loot skills when he moved to Dimir, but he had to relearn them through this process, which actually allowed him to get good because he's been around people who actually know how to play as opposed to before by himself. Yeah.
Torgor originally learned from YouTube,
Absolutely.
and now has actually taken some lessons. I like it. Okay. All right. So what do we think for the writing part of this? What skill do you think?
Either persuasion or like a performance check.
I almost think it would be performance, but with, because you're not. It's like with intelligence to write it. How do we make art? Make a Dungeons and Dragons character make art. Good luck. Like, you don't have any ability or skills to do this. They're just, the game does not care about it. I
would argue because it's a personal narrative. It's a Torgor is written as like a persuasive essay in order to like get folks on their side and like build into the story and like believe the notion that Dovin Ban is a planeswalker. Like,
right, because that's the if we want to take a step back and look at this from like a Hamlet perspective, what you're trying to do here is to tell the Rakdos particularly, and the Demon Rakdos and the people of Ravnica that yes, Dovin Ban, planeswalkers are real. Dovin Ban is one of them, and you should change your behavior accordingly. It's like X-Files, the musical, but then at the end you're like, and all of it is true.
And all of it is true.
It's a complicated narrative to try to communicate. I like it. And I think that your writers are probably still struggling with the like, is this supposed to be taken literally, or is this a metaphor, or
there's
is
levels
satire?
of satire.
Yeah,
like
it's so complicated.
Irony. Like it's really a layered project. It's gonna make them think and laugh and cry.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think in that case, then, based on the tools we have available to us because of Dungeons and Dragons and its skill set, let's just have you roll a performance check. Okay. And I will begin tracking your progress on how done this thing is.
Got an 11.
Okay. All right. So you got an 11 on the first one. Okay. Cool. All right. So yeah, scattered notes, ambition, ideas, plans, brainstorming. Right. Nothing really sticking yet.
Torgor's really big idea, like, hasn't really done this project before and maybe doesn't know the finer details of lining it perfectly, but it makes a lot of assumptions about it. Yeah.
So when you inevitably have to cast Tack, Road, and Winnegar in this play, have you considered asking them to play themselves, or are you going to find actors to play them?
If you don't cast Salma Hayek as me,
when I think of Tack, I definitely think of like tall, beautiful Latin lady. That's where my head goes.
Thank you.
And definitely not Bobcat Goldthwait painted red.
I was gonna say either her or the dude who plays Jean Ralphio from Parks and Rec.
Yes, no, that's it.
In the animated version, definitely that actor, plays the voice of
Bedford.
Yeah. I'm definitely homeless.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, Danny DeVito also good.
Danny DeVito. Or I'll take Joe Pesci. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Only if Salma Hayek can't do it.
Only if Salma Hayek's not available. Yeah. Okay.
Or Cherry Crews.
Winnegar's just like, who the fuck is Jesse Eisenberg?
Oh no. Starring Michael Cera as Tack.
No. I hate it.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's the thing. You've got some work on here. Basically, I want to find where Torgor re-intersects with the party, right? Does he go back to the host in the shell to check up after a couple of days, or like when will that timeline run back into the other?
I think at that point, right when like the doors open, he like gives notes of the scripts, comes back to be like, all right, I want to see these rewrites in the next 6 hours. Like, and really punch up, guys. We can do better than some of those jokes. Really. Hey, and Daryl,
Punch up.
That is, you are such a Chicago writer.
I knew your whole writer rooms comes back there in like flannels.
To be fair, your whole play that you're designing is about punching up, because there's pretty much nobody that's a bigger authority figure with a stick up their ass than Dovin Van. He's a great target. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think to your point, I think there are some, low blow Golgari jokes in there that you could probably take out and
absolutely
workshop a little more. Yeah,
for sure. This is a Dovin Band takedown and a glorification of myself. I will not have anything else.
That's right.
And then Torgor walks out and be like, oh, and Daryl, hey Daryl, watch out. This bull has horns. Okay. and then leaves the room. Excellent.
Good. Yeah, Daryl looks up from painting his nails and is like, what? Oh my God, I'm sorry.
God damn it. It's like it makes me want to take up cigarettes again. I swear to God.
I love Daryl.
And then you're heading to, I mean, hey, new lawyer road maybe needs a boyfriend. So
I know.
Wasn't I assigned one? I was assigned one.
I believe you were assigned someone who like has romantic interest in you, but and they were like, if you want to fit in, we've primed the pump for you. Not the best way to use that phrase, but you know what?
Goodbye.
We got you this guy. He's an Alpha 6. So yeah, and so Torgor, you leave and walk out into the greater kind of caverns of Rixmadi. And where do you go from there? You head home?
I think head over to Host in the Shell just to check in, because I also know Judith isn't in today because after the big meeting she had to go.
Yes. She's in. And her and any of Rakdos's other like closest confidants, whatever, they've all withdrawn to the central chamber. They've withdrawn to the pit to talk about this stuff that's happening. And I think you've been in pretty relative isolation during that whole period. You're in kind of media blackout. So when you go outside into the rain, and there's a bad storm tonight, lightning and thunder and like wind. And when you walk out, you leave, you climb up out of the Golgari underground, you reach the streets. There is, you look towards New Prov, and even through the fog, you can see the glowing circle of law. And it basically says military or martial law has been declared. There is a curfew. Everyone return to your homes. The Azorius and the Boros will be patrolling the streets. Just get out of the streets, go home. It's not safe, basically. So state of emergency has been declared by the Azorius Senate. And I think for the most part, when you walk out, you see people doing the same, like getting onto crowded trains, trying to get home. The streets are busy. Nobody can get a cab. It's chaos, right? So probably you have to walk.
Yeah. I'd hope that in some capacity, wherever I popped out from the Undercity was like nearby where I last remember the Host in the Shell. So it's like maybe an hour or like 2, but like still like having to like make it through the crowd to like get there, at least in the same district, I'd imagine.
Make a survival check. Survival is like navigating.
Perfect. Got a -1 on this one. Let's see how it goes. And it's a 12. Ugh.
Okay. So here's what happens. Torgor, you do manage to use the underground to get most of the way there, but there is a stretch where you have to return out in Precinct 6. You have to leave the underground in the chasm that's down a little south of there, and then walk. And it's only like 8 or 10 blocks, but you start heading that way. And this part of town is pretty abandoned now. So As you're walking down the street towards the host, you notice on the corner there are two Boros Legion troops. There's a Minotaur, and she is accompanied by a human man. The two of them are standing on the corner, and the human sees you and does the like up nod to the Minotaur, and she turns and sees you, and the two of them start walking towards you. Now these are Boros Legionnaires, so they're wearing the like they have kind of like a Spartan warrior kind of vibe to their look, right? They have breastplates, like armored breastplates, and then like kind of a toga looking like outfit. Both of them are pretty damp because it's been raining so long. They've been outside. But yeah, they're headed towards you. They're not drawing weapons yet, but they are both armed. What are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna keep walking towards them directly.
Okay. All right.
I'll stop when they get close by.
Yeah. So they're taking up kind of the sidewalk, and so you stop and they look at you, and the human says, "Didn't you get the memo? There's a curfew. You should be inside."
Oh, trust me, I know. I'm trying to make it home right now, but with the rain and the trains, how bad they've been, the easiest method has been walking.
And he looks sort of suspiciously at his partner, and she says to you, "So you live around here?"
No, not here. A little bit. I've been the host in the shell. I've been working the graveyard shift, so I don't really live around here. I just need that's where I'm supposed to be at night during the curfew.
And she says, "Your cafe is probably closed. Not going to get a lot of customers tonight. Everyone's inside. So maybe you head on home, wherever that is."
I would love to, but honestly, that's my home right now tonight. It's more or less I stay there to keep other people who might look like me from coming in. You know, a little bit of insured safety.
Can you make a persuade check?
I would love to.
Ooh, 12.
Solid. This has been a very consistent middling roll.
Yeah. Let me see. Here, because they're pretty suspicious, and they're Boros Legionnaires, so they're kind of assholes. But they're also like, these might be some of the decent ones. I think I'm gonna just roll.
I might invoke Gorbor if I need to.
Let me roll this here. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So I got an 11.
barely.
So they look at each other, and you can kind of see like, okay, this isn't worth like following up on. You're not out dressed like a Gruul or a Rakdos, or they didn't see you climb up out of the underground or anything. So
Right.
yeah. So
Just got a big poncho over me trying to keep
the
out of the rain.
human says, "Stay off the streets," and the Minotaur, she kind of gives you a look, and she says, "It really is for your own good. It's dangerous out here. Be careful."
I share eye contact with the Minotaur. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. And then just keep walking past the human guard.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you head back in the rain, and when you get there, you find that Tack and Road have already arrived. They've just recently come in. So Tack and Road, the place is closed. There is a handwritten sign hanging on the door. Dewdrop is asleep as always, and there's a handwritten sign hanging from the door that says, "Closed. Sorry. Blame the Azorius." Smiley face, and then a little G drawn on it. I like to think that the actual owner and manager of this place, now that Gary is around,
Dregs?
Yeah, Dregs just never comes.
Dregs just never comes into work. Dregs is on vacation, right? Dregs is just like at some Selesnian spa somewhere, just to like living it up, while his like
After
nephew.
someone was murdered in his office.
Yeah,
He doesn't
Takes
care.
some time.
He gets to be the owner, but Gary is acting manager. But Gary has closed the place up, but you all have keys, so you come and open it up, and yeah, and so you have to kind of like turn some of the lights on, and
I like to think that Tack like constantly punches through the window and like opens it on the other side or something as like it's a race to see who grabs the key first.
There is literally a card, a magic card called Goblin Lockpick. And it is a picture
Is
of
it a brick?
It's a picture of a goblin, and he's crouched down, and there's a door, and he's punched his arm through the door and is opening the door.
Yes.
On the other side. It's literally like, I thought you were describing that card on purpose,
No,
but that's
remember, I know nothing about
that's
this
clearly just a
universe.
thing that goblins do, and we all
Can
know
we
this.
race?
Yes,
What
only
should we roll?
goblins.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
I
We're
think-
racing.
I think mine is acrobatics and yours is sleight of hand.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you don't have to break in. You do.
I just
have
want
a
to see if I
key.
could do it before.
I'm also
Yeah.
gonna roll acrobatics.
Yes.
We're gonna see who can get up this.
What?
turtle the
You're
fastest.
cheating.
Okay, you got a
Whoa.
24.
Okay.
I clicked it. It's taking its time. Oh no, did I not click it?
You got
it.
Oh,
You got
17. So,
I got you.
all right. So, Tack, you scramble up the front of the host and shell.
I have to destroy the world that you built, Adam.
And so you watch as Tack just breaks the window. We're in.
Yippee!
Thank you, Tack. Thank you. This
Do I
is a
come
great
in
job
on the
you
broken
did.
window or them breaking in?
I think, well, so for you, Toro, it's suspicious because you climb up the stairs and there's the door and there's the window is broken and there's broken glass and like rainwater everywhere.
I like take out my maul. I was
Yeah.
like, I thought I was lying to the, but God, I really don't want to have Gary have to deal with this when he comes in and like starts walking through looking. And then do I notice the like tack-sized footprints immediately afterwards?
You probably noticed like the yellow eyes trapped inside the dessert counter.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you scan the room and it's like nothing. Tack's butt sticking up out of a freezer, nothing. His little legs going.
Cutting
Yeah.
back. Oh, geez, Louise. Yeah.
Got him.
Tack, you have keys. We all have keys.
It was faster.
I like take out a broom and I start like sweeping up the glass and like put a little hunk of I like patch up the window. And then it's like, come on, do you got enough snacks?
No. Just like armful and now grabs them. Yes.
Okay. I pick them up by the scruff and then
It's a trail of
room.
snacks.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of Torgor carrying Tack around by the back of the neck. Like, come on.
Come on. And then they walk into the karaoke room where I imagine everybody else is.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but
Road is
my
there.
Oshkosh bagosh.
And Road, you didn't really have time to change, so you're still wearing your like powder blue like pantsuit with the big shoulders.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
It's great. Maybe like a slightly flavorful tie. It's hell on earth, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, so
It's like-
when Torgor comes in, what do we see? Is Road, a bottle of wine in already, or
Fucking maybe, actually, now that you bring it up. I think Road was like, all right, you're gonna do snacks. We just watched a very important political figure get assassinated. I'm gonna drink some wine.
Wait, what?
Mhm. So yeah, Torgor comes in and Road is probably half a glass in.
Mhm.
Has also stolen like a small little fruit tart, and is just
Queen's
trying to like
dead.
is just like working at the whiteboard. I think just trying to figure some stuff out.
yes, the conspiracy board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi Torgor. Welcome.
Seems like the party started without me.
Do you want the other half of this bottle?
Yeah, actually. So why is Asperia got a big cross through it?
Yeah. Tack, do you want to say it? I think it'll be more fun if you say it.
She is very dead.
Yeah.
What?
Yo, okay, so I was there and Road was there, and then there was all these people there, and then the dragon was like, blah, 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 I want to be the
Living Guildpact.
I want to be the peacock. Right.
Living Guildpact.
And then they were like, no, you have to get out of our club. And so he like flew away. And then Vraska, who's like plow,
Yes.
She is like Blau. True.
Sure. Yeah.
She goes up to the cop queen and she was like, I'm that bitch. And the cop queen was like, mm-mm. And she went like, whatcha? And now she's dead.
Wait, isn't Asperia like a giant sphinx? Like
And now she's a giant dead sphinx.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whatcha?
Yeah, that pretty much covers it. Yeah, pretty accurate. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have a cigarette too. Do you want one?
No, I quit, but I will take another bottle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I've
Torgor
got
smells.
12.
Torgor kind of smells like wet comedian. So.
Ugh, smell I know well.
Oh man.
So yeah, it smells like you already smoked several packs of cigarettes, but that was just your coworkers.
It's just
So-
damp
the room
turtlenecks.
It occurs to you, Torgor, that this could like work for your narrative because Dovinban was second in command. So if Asperia is dead, that means Dovinban is in charge of the Azorius now. Dovinban rules that hallowed guild.
Oh my goodness, this could be the Deus Ex Machina for the 5th number. Oh my guys, it all makes sense. And I start regaling them on like the entire journey that I've been like, I'm putting together this show.
So Torgor explains meeting with Judith, Mama Natrix of the Rakdos. We crossfade to Ral Zarek's office.
Yes.
Now,
Oh my god, my favorite soap opera. I'm ready.
Ral, I'm trying to imagine like a man like Ral Zarek, what he would have in his office, because he's portrayed in. He's one of those characters in Magic you're supposed to get protagonist vibes from because he's a white man of a certain age category. Like him and Jace are the same demographic.
Yeah.
And so I think he's supposed to read.
He's Jim from The Office.
Very nice, Carlos. But he's got this kind of like arrogant, like swaggery kind of edge to him. And he's a little bit like self-involved. I think he probably has the back wall of his office is glass, so that you can see the storm and you can see Ravnica. Big glass wall behind him. There's like rain running down it in rivulets. The office itself is probably illuminated by magical globes. Because Ral's thing is storms and like power. So yeah, there's probably like magical glow globes kind of hanging around his desk. His big black wooden desk. And then probably a bunch of books. So he's probably got bookshelves on both sides, but he's never read any of the books. Like somebody just told him, like he paid someone to design this office for him. And when you come in, Winnegar, he's planning the last, like he's writing notes for the guild summit, which he's about to leave for. So you're still 2 or 3 hours behind the rest of the party. So when we cut to come back to the scene, it says a few hours ago, and we see Ral, like rubbing his chin. And he's like writing. He's like, no, that's not good. And he scratches it off, and he looks up, and we don't see you. He looks up, and he makes kind of it's a complicated facial expression because he looks. His initial reaction, and the one he can't stop from coming to his face, is like, God damn, I'm really busy. I don't have time for this. Right? Like mild frustration, which then he covers with like, oh, hey, honey. Like he's really Jack Torrance underneath, but he's trying to be nice because he's like, I'm in the middle of something. And then we have this big meeting, but he covers over it with a like, oh, hey, sweetheart. What's going on? So when he sees you come in, he looks up and he says something to that effect. He's like, Tomek, hey, did we have plans? Am I late for something? I'm in the middle of this whole summit thing and you know, and he looks at you, and we cut to Winnegar as advocist Tomek. What do you do? What do you say?
God, so two things have been going through my brain the entire time on how to play it. I can try to do a straight grift, but like, you know, just like I don't even know.
Yeah, you know, you don't want to give him the Cincinnati umbrella. That's too advanced.
Smooch first, questions later. Smooch first.
Like I could but like I also don't know, even like it's so suspicious if Tomek starts like talking about Firefly, like that's so weird.
A Project Lightning Bug, yeah.
Lightning Bug, yeah. So I think I'm gonna try to go the other way and try to rattle him. So I just like stand like right with the door against my back. He's at his desk, like kind of like, oh, hey, and you know, he's working, looking down. He's probably writing and looking down. And this could be a horrible idea.
Yes, I love it.
I'm ready.
But I want to like just be like staring straight ahead at him. And I want to say something to the effect of Project Lightning Bug is compromised. And say check their archives, move the project now. And then I want to use my last like slot and like get the hell out of there. Like just like close the door and run.
That's very confusing.
Yeah, but like he wouldn't know. Like I wouldn't know about that, right? Like
yeah,
as his boyfriend, I imagine his boyfriend's like like a trophy boyfriend. I don't know why. It just seems like this is his trophy boyfriend, right?
Trophy boyfriend.
I think so.
I like your assessment of Ral's area because he couldn't possibly be in a relationship with someone because he loves them. He's just like, no, it's just because I'm a hot lawyer.
Anyone who follows Jace Beleren like this,
okay, yeah,
and
you're
like
right.
is trying to do this. He doesn't care about people, you know, like he doesn't care about love or falling in love. Yeah, I basically want him to. What I want him to do is make a move, because like right now, no one is making a move, and I know nothing about like
you could
what's
be
going
making
on.
a move, Carlos. I'm sorry. I forgot I wasn't muted.
I'm not gonna make a move on like that. That's also very weird too. I don't know if I can play that.
Yeah.
But I think because the other way is just like I'm just standing next to the guy that's a fucking planeswalker that can like, you know, I just want to like get in and out of there.
Yeah.
And then see what he does, see who he calls, see what moves, see like what they do.
Okay. All right. So yeah, walk me through it. So he looks up, he sees his boyfriend Tomek unexpectedly. He makes a little face like, I hope I can deal with you quickly and in a way that doesn't hurt your feelings, but I actually need you to get out of here real quick. I'm in the middle of something. But yeah, he looks up and he sees you, and then what do you say? Walk me through what happens, and then I'll tell you what he does.
Yeah. Look at Katie's face.
Sorry.
Katie May is very tense right now.
So tense. Well, I mean, he's a planeswalker, so you could be like, he electrocutes you and you turn into ash.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So thankfully, Winnegar doesn't know that Ral is a planeswalker yet. We know he's friends with planeswalkers, and he knows
that's
things. Right. No, so I don't think we've ever. You haven't seen him planeswalk, and he hasn't like. We know he's in the know and he's a powerful dude, but I don't think he's been. We haven't included in there.
I like the chat. Get in there, Carlos.
Carlos, they're very supportive.
Yeah, kiss him first and then do your weird.
I do like that somebody else named
that fan
Carlos.
service? Is it fan service if I just go smooch him
Yes.
first?
Yes.
It absolutely is.
Yeah,
Do
I
it
do like
anyways.
that another Carlos in the chat was like Winnegar Distinguished Advocate.
Okay. So I'm gonna retcon that then.
Okay.
I walk in, he puts his head back down, I walk over and like run my finger against the desk like that, and then put my put my hands around my arm around him.
And so he looks up and he's like, I have, and he looks at the papers, he's like, I have to get to this, it's the summit. And he looks over at a clock, I guess, because if anybody's gonna have him, he looks over at the clock and he's like, you're going to make me late.
Yeah, I will.
Guys, shut up, Katie.
Hey, hey, girl. Hey.
I forgot that I wasn't muted that time.
I swear, if this isn't the clip that makes it into D&D Rewind next week, I will riot. I will burn that place to the ground.
See, I don't. Oh God. So like, it's literally, I can't get anything out of this guy. Shut up! Don't.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's concerned about you getting anything out of him.
Hey, sorry.
Yeah. So, I just want to mill around the office and play with things, and basically like, oh, you don't have 30 seconds for me, like you don't have 30 seconds just to talk to me, like, oh, big man with all his books.
Yes, ruin his relationship.
So he looks over at you, and he says, he kind of squints at you. He's paying full attention now, and he's like, you're being strange.
I'm kidding.
He sighs, and he says, what are you even doing here? Shouldn't you be with Kaya and Teza? Don't they need you?
Yeah, I guess so. But you've been so busy and so distracted lately. I thought maybe this would be fun. I just do a pop in and like maybe you'd be happy to see me. But I see you're not happy to see me.
It's not that. It's not that I'm not happy to see you. I'm just really busy. And I'm not getting the support that I need from the people around me. This is really hard. If this summit doesn't go well, then this means a lot to me. This is just bad timing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you feel like I've been neglecting you. I know I haven't been around as much, but you've been busy too. Those two are keeping you away from me just as much as my work is keeping me from you.
Don't take that, Winokur.
Ooh, now I want to know what that is.
He's trying to start a fight.
Bring that focus back.
While he's talking, I want to be looking at the books on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there anything that can maybe help me in deciphering these notes, or anything like a manual, or anything that kind of like springs out at me at like the same language, maybe?
Yeah, you can make an investigation check, sure. Okay. So it's, like I said, it's mostly that these books are the kinds of books you have around if you want to seem smart and cultured. Like, Ral is super smart, just not about any of this stuff. Like, obviously somebody else bought these books and put them in here for him.
People's histories.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna take that little nugget on like, oh, well, what's Tomic working on that he's so big? Like, that's totally unexpected. Like, I totally didn't get that as well. And especially if like Ral thinks it's important and that like that they're both doing something really important, like the summon or whatever. So yeah, I think I'm gonna abandon my plan.
Jesus Christ, chat, Parappa the Kappa in chat just nailed Ral's Eric perfectly. Yeah, it's just 4,000 copies of Infinite Jest.
Yeah. He's gonna get around to it. He saw a YouTube video explaining like all the key parts.
He's really more into the short stories anyway. Did you read that one about the lobsters? It's great. So so there's something else going on with Tomic, and so Ral has said like, shouldn't you be with Teza and Kaya? Like, aren't they keeping you busy?
What'd I say to that?
You can make a religion check if you want to see if you recognize either of those names.
Yeah.
It's not your guild, but it's a guild. 18, not bad. Okay, so you don't have any idea who Kaya is. That's not a name that's familiar to you, but Teza refers to Teza Karlov, who is a high-ranking member of the Orzhov. She's a big deal, and I think at this point she's one of the like advisors to the Obdazat, which are the Ghost Council that run them. Yeah, she's a big deal, and if she's got something going on, it's significant. But you don't know who Kaya is and how she's involved.
Okay, so here's the choose your own adventure. I can leave on that note and investigate myself, or I could try to do that roundabout way where you say like, "Oh, can you believe that story I told you last week about what they did?" and see what he divulges. Katie May says, the entire team is shaking their head no.
You're in too deep and he's suspicious.
Okay.
Also, that's not your Demir job. Your Demir job is lightning bug.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
One more, just because I double checked, one more thing to note about Teza, and this will be interesting for Tack and Road. Imagine that this is something that you would have known as well about her, because you saw her with that woman at the Guild Summit, right? You saw Teza with Kaya, but Winnegar doesn't know that yet.
Kaya's hot girlfriend.
Yeah, so Teza should be in jail. She should be in Orzhov jail. So when you saw her with Kaya, she's either escaped but it makes sense because Kaya got rid of the Abdazad anyway. So her whole story, and with an 18, you'd know this. And I guess I can give you the little hint here. So Teza was trying to angle for, she was like the ambassador for the Orzhov, and she was trying to angle for being in charge basically, and she got caught and they put her in jail, and so that's the last time anyone saw her. Tomek was or is her apprentice. So she's Tomek's boss, and maybe you put that together while you're like, how do I know that name? Teza Karlov. You're like, oh shit, she's my boss. Yeah, so you're pretending to be her apprentice.
Side note, that Tomek card ain't half bad.
Yeah.
2 cast, 2/3 flyer. Can't fuck with my lands.
Yeah,
I like
right.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How often are you
job
messing
done.
with lands? That feels like such a specific, like a defensive card.
Yes,
Oh
he's
my
not
God.
he's not great in standard. He's pretty good in legacy versions of Magic though. He's useful.
Sure.
His land destruction is more valid. Anyway,
Aw, he's really cute.
Anyways, back to the real game.
that's right. Back to the
Dungeons and
serious
Dragons.
game we're playing here. Yeah.
Get off the
Oh,
roof.
also that gargoyle behind him is his mode of conveyance. He rides around on the back of a gargoyle wherever he goes.
No shit.
Yeah.
That is extra.
That's
You
his
could-
gargoyle
that's-
motorcycle. Yeah.
That's Verigari, and I appreciate it.
Yes.
I like it.
So this is the information about
I'm
Tomek
here for it.
from the Magic Wikipedia. Tomek is a handsome young man with brown hair. He wears glasses. He specializes in contracts, verbal agreements, and barriers protecting physical treasures. Tomek is known to fly a gargoyle. He's Ral Zarek's lover, and they've been living together, but trying to keep the relationship on the down low because they're from different guilds.
Okay, but how do you live together and keep your relationship on the down low? Because both
However-
your names got to be on the rent. So, never mind.
it's probably Ral. Actually, it's probably Tomek's house. He's the lawyer. However, it became public knowledge when they worked together to organize the Guild Summit. So this project is actually
Oh.
meaningful to your relationship, which is why Ral was like, you know how much this means to me, because Tomek helped plan it.
Oh my god.
And that's when that was their coming out thing where they were like, yeah, I organized this Guild Summit with my lover, Tomek.
Oh my gosh.
Propose.
And Winninger's
Let's
about to
just have-
ruin
Oh
all
my
that.
god. Propose, Winnegar.
I'm gonna take
a minor
Ravnica back
illusion
100
over it.
years.
That's right. Well, I
Take
mean,
Ravnica back.
this is a thing that Magic's canon has struggled with for a long time, is like non-straight relationships. Like Tomek and Ral are one of a rare few, and it would be really sad if you broke their relationship.
Wow.
Let's start our alternate timeline here and now.
You better
Yeah, in
stop
my-
it, Katie May.
in my version of Ravnica,
No.
Chandra and Nissa, it's not just a phase. They're in love. You can't take that away
Yeah,
from me.
that's how it is in all but the most incorruptive versions, and I'm
Right.
not sorry.
Yep. So,
Yeah,
knowing that
I'm-
information, Winnegar, Ral looks at you. He's like, "Why are you being like this? Like, you know how important this is. Just like we can spend some time together after this is all through."
Okay. Fine. Okay, fine. I'll go. I love you. I go. Okay, bye. And then he's gonna like head out the door. Well, yeah, he's gonna. I guess. God, every single time but like, that's the thing.
You're
I
at
gotta
work.
I
I
will
have
stop
this-
peer pressuring you into smooching. I'm sorry.
No, it's not even that. It makes me vulnerable to this guy's self. Like if I touch him, right? So like the first time I was kind of behind him and like I got him from the side, but like if I smooch him face on,
Mm-hmm.
That could be the smooch that undoes me.
That's the name. That's the name of Winnegar's first acoustic blues album, "The Smooch That Undoes Me."
Yeah. I was trying to be Dr. Seuss. That's my new Dr. Seuss book, "The Smooch That Undoes Me."
We're a great show. God. We're great.
Good content.
So
worked out my abs a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, okay, fine, I love you, bye. Okay, I'm going, and then like go out the door.
Okay, yeah, and he watches you, and he kind of just shakes his head like, "Oh, that man," and then goes back to writing. Okay, all right. So you leave the office, and you walk past the assistant, the woman at the desk, and she gives you a little wave. "Bye, Tomic."
Bye, Marge.
Like, oh, it's Madge actually. So so you leave, and then what? Then what do you do?
I think I'm gonna go back to my office, grab the notes that I have, the manual notes, and then take it back to Ghost in the Shell and meet up with everyone.
Okay, cool.
Tell them what I know.
Yeah. So Torgor, we cut back to you. Torgor, you are just finishing your story. And
so obviously I don't imagine you all playing your roles. But I would like you involved in the casting process. I think that would be a nice, respectful sort of method for both of us.
Why is that obvious though?
Well, Tack, let's be real. You have zero stage presence.
That's the umbrage you're taking with this. Not that Torgor's publicizing our very, very secret operation, but that you would not get to play yourself on stage. That is
you have fake names. Your name is Avenue Road. It's Avenue. Okay, that's a great.
So can I just say, so on the one hand, it is totally a massive security breach if anybody believes it. But on the other hand, nothing set ufology back more than the release of Men in Black. Just saying. True.
And it is a rock opera, so.
What are you thinking?
Honestly, I think it's going to be great. It's not even about the Peacock. It's about Dove.
It's about you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's going to be great.
You and not about helping us.
Hey.
Well, who's playing Torgor then? Who's playing Torgor?
I am, of course.
Why do you get to play Torgor?
Why do you think
I want to play Vic?
I get to.
No one's gonna play anyone because you can't do this.
I get to meet.
And so, Winnegar, this is the argument that you hear coming from the back room when you arrive.
So I come in and they're just arguing about
the whole thing at jeopardy. Yeah.
So the time it took between your meeting with Ral to go back to your office, get everything that you need, and then make your way here, the summit began and ended because it was only like an hour long. The summit began and ended. The Azorius put the city on lockdown, and you managed to return back to the host kind of as Ravnica goes into a state of emergency mode. And you walk in and you hear Tack, Road, and Torgor arguing about some plan Torgor has that Road apparently disagrees with. And then over that sound, you hear the high-pitched sound of Tack just jumping into the conversation whenever they have the opportunity. So yeah, I don't think they hear you come in.
Yeah, I just want to like grab a scone and just like sit there and like watch them, like try to figure out what they're talking about before I actually jump in to the conversation. From what I know, like they're putting on a play without me. What the, like what? And it's just like, well, don't get upset. Apparently it's really competitive. Like Tack can't even get a part. Oh, Tack's range is huge. Like that's what Winnegar's thinking while he's sitting there eating his goat.
I'm big in the sewers.
I know, and I get
untrue. I'm small everywhere, but
we can't play ourselves except for me because it's a semi-fictional retelling of my life.
Okay.
It's good. Trust me.
Yeah, but what I'm hearing is that you get to cut a check out of this and we don't.
Oh, come on. You know you won't be executive producers. Of course you got to cut of the profits.
How much?
I don't care about the profits. I care about the job we're supposed to be doing.
How much?
No, I'm not going to be shushed.
15%
this isn't a joke.
15 each. What?
Yeah, how much are you fair? Well, I gotta cut out the riders. Honestly, I'll be walking away with maybe 5. Maybe.
I gotta cut out the.
Oh, well then 15's
Walk away
fine.
with nothing because this stops now. Why?
Wait, how much is
what
Winnegar
makes you
getting?
think that this is a good idea?
Because I can get in direct access
Listen,
to
the three most valuable forms, the three most valuable forms of currency in Ravnica are the Zib, the Xeno, and exposure. So you'll be fine.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say stale pizza rolls, and I was like, yeah, brother.
You know it.
No,
Only to you. Only to and for you. Yep.
true.
You would sacrifice all the work that we've done up until this point for a lukewarm meeting with a guildmaster who has no motivation to like or keep you around.
So, do we know that the Dimir is still listening in on our conversations at this moment?
I don't know if you ever know
Well, I mean,
whether
I'm
that's
listening,
happening or not.
and
Yeah,
I'm
Road
to
is
work,
listening.
so-
Then
Technically,
perfect.
you're
Then I
over.
say, then you don't know what Rakdos is capable of and the power that he possesses and the ability that we have with his alliance to truly take down Jace.
Then tell
He's
a
a guy-
different story.
Well, it is a different story. It's I'm protecting us, and I
You just said that someone named Avenue's gonna be in your story,
Yes,
Torgor. That's
absolutely.
not telling a different story.
that's great. They're not even. They're like they might. I was trying
You
to
told
think.
the Rose about this one? You think that she's gonna love this? You think that she's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be your muse. No, she's gonna fucking kill you.
I'm
Is what
sorry.
she's
I
going
was
to do.
doing my new job as working for the Dimir.
Wait,
And
pause. Time out.
So
This
yeah,
is the
when
point when I ask.
when Torgor says that, we get the hard like we get a full 100% Tim Allen there where Tack just looks up like, wait a second.
I've got like half a cinnamon roll in my mouth. I'm like, yeah,
damn it.
15% is a lot.
I like that Winninger's just in the other room listening to this.
I think Whittaker's in this room. And
So
has sat
yeah,
down
so
right now.
Torgor says, I'm doing my real job working for the Dimir, record scratch. And then silence. What do you Tack? Do you say anything?
I'm like, I'm looking at Torgor and I'm looking at Road to like gauge Road's reaction.
Okay, so here's what I think might happen. You know when a baby falls and hits their head, and
I'm so sorry. You mean your reaction? Okay.
yeah, well, no, you know when a baby like falls and hits their head, and you
Yes.
laugh so the baby doesn't start crying.
Yes, that's why I
You're
laugh.
like, oh, you fell.
Yes.
I think that like that might be what has to happen here. Oh God, but even that's gonna be a really hard sell. That's okay. We can always, I guess, destroy
if you
Tack's
lead
memory.
it, I like Torgor will follow. If you lead this laugh joke, Torgor will cover it. I promise.
Yeah, because if there's one thing that Tack is good at, it's reflexes and acting like a second faster than most people. So if there is like a space where everybody's standing there like,
I think
that's
that's try to
the moment.
pick up on it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck, what does she say? She says, this bit isn't funny anymore. You've
Oh,
done it
you don't
3
like this
times
bit?
this
This
week,
is
and I
this is
don't think it's a
real
funny
fun
bit.
I think this is a fun bit where
Oh, Demir, right. The Demir's told you to make all these terrible decisions. You're making
Right.
Vinegar
Absolutely.
bursts through the door. He bursts through the door and goes, "The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides of the inequities of the selfish and the
Oh, now
tyranny
you've
of evil
given the
men.
script to Winnegar?
Blessed
You've
is
given
he
the script-
that is
who
not
with
those
name
are
of
not my
charity and
words. That's
goodwill
crap.
shepherds
Are
the
you
weak
auditioning?
through the valley of darkness, for he truly is his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And will strike that upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger for those who attempt to destroy and poison my brothers. And you shall know my name is Whittaker when I lay my vengeance upon thee."
So
Pretty good, right, guys?
So Brad looks up from his burger and says,
Whittaker
"What?"
wants to be in the play.
So yeah, this whole moment is just like completely derailed, and everyone just stops to look at Winnegar.
I would like to roll insight.
There's a lot going on.
Fancy.
Yeah. So
am I rolling deception?
Road or Torgor, roll deception with advantage.
Can
'cause
I roll deception and Torgor assist me?
I would
Yes.
love that. I'd give you the help. action.
Hecky.
Yeah.
Besieged on all
25.
sides,
thank goodness.
indeed.
Okay. All right. So it's a 25.
I'm mad.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
To be honest, Tax got a really short attention span, and the moment Winnegar busts in with this monologue, it's just like, wow, I didn't think Winnegar had the chops, but I'm riveted, really.
What play was that from?
What were we doing?
What was that? You didn't slate at the beginning,
Yeah.
so I didn't know.
mean, it's
Well,
real professional.
I was kind of going method on that one. I don't. It's from the Bible. Have you read that?
No, it's just one of the things you keep talking about in your podcast, whatever. My goodness.
Winnegar, nobody watches your podcast.
No,
Well, I mean,
Listens
okay,
to.
that's fine.
consumes. I don't know
Torgor,
how. Yeah.
what do you got for me? Where am I? Where did you write me in?
No.
What-
You need
No,
to
no.
be a voice of sanity here. You can't jump on to the
Honestly,
production.
best friend, I think I have some like overarching. I need you to come in as a co-writer on this. And
Okay.
like,
Co-writer.
What?
I like that. Nepotism always works great in the writing room.
First of all, I thought you said this
Daryl,
is
you're
based
fired.
on
This is
real
my friend
life.
Winnegar.
It is.
So why do you have to write it?
You know what? Honestly, everybody gets to be a writer. We get to tell the story we want. All right.
Do
Does
I
that
get-
make you happy?
No.
Do I get a bigger take?
No.
No, you
But
don't
also,
get
I
a big
want
take.
to-
But you take
25%.
less.
I just want to be an
Why is this a
actor.
good
I
idea?
feel like I got something for the stage that I can really put out there.
All right, Winnegar's parts.
This is becoming an act of ego and not an act of a job well done.
What,
Do you
just
understand
now? It's only just
the
now
level-
becoming that?
Look,
Because it seems to me like it started off that way.
Isperia just got killed. Okay. And now Dovin Band is set to take over the Azorius Senate. And who knows what he's going to do. If we can unseat and cause unrest at his appointment, then I don't know.
Then tell
Maybe
the story of
Nibnazek
the
can
evil
become-
man who. See, but that's a story you can tell without any of our names crossing your lips. You
Then,
can tell
okay.
the story of a corrupt leader, Dovin Ban, who was what Isperia killed and ascends the throne. That's a fine story. Don't take notes. We're not doing this.
Oh,
No, that's good. I like that.
Tack's
That's
gonna
good character
turn to
motivation.
Winnegar. Tack's gonna turn to Winnegar. Oh, Cop Queen is dead.
Wait, what? Cop Queen? Who's cop?
Yeah.
What's Cop
The
Queen?
giant
What-
sphinx.
Yeah, Tack's gonna point at the board where they have made a crude drawing of a cat with X's on its eyes.
Yep.
Wait, I'm so confused. Who's Cop Queen?
And then
Oh.
I point at Isperia, whose name is crossed out. And then I point to Dovin Ban, and I've drawn a little crown.
Yeah, here,
over
let's-
his little
Yeah.
circle.
Let's take it to the big board, shall we?
and then there's a crown with a circle over Doberman's head, but then there's like a crudely drawn like poop in the middle of the crown.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
underneath Dovin Ban, I've written, "Will kill him."
Yes. Yeah. I'll add
Yeah,
it
I've
to the
underlined
list.
that.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget the stinky lines.
Come on, Road. You would love this. Do you really want Dovin Band to be your new boss?
Or anyone's boss.
No.
Yeah, so
I
Dovin
don't.
Ban is absolutely a confirmed planeswalker for now, like based on what you know about him, right? So he's on the list of like alien influences that we know for sure, along with Jace, and then that hot woman that we don't know, the mysterious hot woman.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Hot goth.
Yeah, hot goth that Ral doesn't seem to
And-
know.
Oh no, there are
Do we know
3 hot
Vraska
goths now.
Is a planeswalker, or do we?
Oh
just-
yeah, we know.
just saw her?
So I think we've guessed that Vraska is a planeswalker because we saw her in
In
a
a painting.
painting with Jace in another dimension.
Yeah, but that could have been anybody's like weird fan fiction.
Exactly. Yeah, it could be like, here's a cool painting that me and my girlfriend got when we were at like a pirate themed restaurant.
Yeah,
Drawn-
drawn
Right.
by
Ways. He
yeah,
painted
drawn
that
by like
himself.
our nudist Zlatek fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a maybe on Vraska being from here on out. And I guess I can add to her list. She assassinated Duran von Savo and then also Isperia.
She's so beautiful. I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
Thanks to Tack.
Oh, we can also clear the Rose doesn't own Torgor's soul because Torgor does. That was another thing that happened, Winnegar, that
Yeah.
that
Oh,
you
yeah.
missed.
What?
Yeah.
Right when Kaya took over, because Kaya's now the new plane. This is a thing. Like I don't know if we had it had become public knowledge. So
I think that Road and Tack knew, and they would have told you about it. And this closes the Kaya loop for you, Winnegar. Go ahead and Torgor explain what happened, and then Winnegar, you'll figure out some stuff.
Kaya is now the new Parun of the Orzhov, and upon taking her mantle, pardoned a bunch of people with debt. And so I don't know, it kind of goes to show you that when you make impulsive decisions, there's really no bad outcome that can happen from it. Like the show, Road, like the show.
I don't know, it's a very compelling argument. I mean, I've never had any like consequences to my bad actions, and I do stuff all the time.
Like what?
Start listing all the fires that you've ever actually started in this moment.
Tack like goes through like their biggest regrets, and then I broke into the cafe tonight. Nobody cared.
We cared. We had to pick it up.
Y'all don't count. Zero consequences.
It's true.
What's going on? Winnegar, what's been going on with you? You've been MIA for the past couple days.
Oh yeah, so much has gone on with me. And then it flashes to the janitor, just like,
we could.
Hello, is anybody out there? Hello.
I like to think every time it flashes to the janitor, it goes, "What you said?"
Yeah, and it's just the janitor, and he's sitting in the dark. And he's holding, like it's a baby, he's holding the broken homunculus as its lights slowly fade, and he's just like, I'll see you on the other side, buddy.
Oh my God.
But not for several days.
Yeah, but not for a while.
The concept of time has been elusive in this mind palace. But
yeah, because it's not like the room is airtight or anything, so he'll still get like small infusions of fresh air. It'll take a while to dehydrate.
He's probably trying to find a way to get out on his own. He's a decently smart dude. So
did you or did you not tell Rao to go and look at the?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah, we skipped that. Yeah. So I explain basically what's been going on and what I've learned, and share all my information with them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a scene where like I switch out my manual for Torgor's script. So like I'm reading his script while Torgor's reading we're flipping through my manual.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, body bag number 2. Why am I in a body bag? Why couldn't you give me speaking lines? Just a pass-through scene. They don't even know I'm in the bag.
It's canon. That's how it happened. Come on.
There's all these scenes that are like Winnegar is also there, but Winnegar has no lines.
Yeah. Background by a tree. Mine just a shrub in this scene.
What is the perception of Road of Avenue in this script? Because I think Road is looking over
the play is the thing, right? So yeah, what do we learn? Let's have everybody who reads the script or hears it described to them make an insight check.
Can I tell you the names of everybody?
Well, hang on. Let's do this first. So this is their ability to interpret the material. So
15.
Tack, you got a 2. Or this was your last one, so you haven't rolled it.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think Tack's
not reading
the script.
Okay. So
which I can read, of course, but I don't.
That's convincing.
I'm gonna let so Torgor, you can tell Road and Winnegar what the play says about what Torgor thinks of them. Tell Road an accurate interpretation and tell Winnegar the worst possible misinterpretation from the material of what Torgor thinks of Winnegar.
Okay. Well, I think when Road reads it, it really just like portrays someone who he respects a lot in the group, someone who really like that they value, whose insight is often counter to their own, but is necessary to find like the right direction to move forward. And so often played as a foil, but more often than not, someone who actually is like got the best insight for the group in mind. And we see that the true villain throughout the group is Torgor himself in their dynamic.
Oh, interesting.
And then for Winnegar misses the love ballad that is written to him through this fool sort of like foppy, like the level of which like Torgor just like cares about this like kind of like off delicate thing that needs to be protected, but is like read as a foppish buffoon almost in a ways, but it truly says the most insightful things. The Pumbaa of the group is how it's read without the depth
Right.
is present.
Which is a completely wrong interpretation of the character. I like that.
Right.
I was gonna say
then,
I thought the gag there was gonna be so you have to tell a truth to Road and a lie to Winnegar, and you say like, so Road is revealed to be like really trustworthy and that you know, capable and competent and really an excellent person, and then Winnegar, same thing.
Same thing. 100%. No, but what's it called? Winnegar is named is Balsamic, and then Tack gets named Tix. So
yes,
Very
the classic Shakespearean buffoon, Balsamic.
Balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinaigrette.
No, that's vinaigrette is what it's called when you finally get to split yourself into two and you have a smaller version of
Oh,
you. Like, I'm Winnegar. This is
Oh,
vinaigrette.
that's cute.
Never talk to me or my son ever again.
What is this show about?
Oh God, who even knows?
Anymore.
This
Who
this
knows?
is a thing, and I mean that's the end of the episode, right? Is everybody sitting around reading Torgor's script to a play about how the PCs are fighting Dovin Ban, an evil planeswalker. It's good. It's good. We're getting very, very meta, and I really like it. And as to what the show is about, I don't know. It has a premise. Magic is involved in some way. I've sort of lost the thread, but that's all right. I'm having a great time. That's why we have the conspiracy board.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're all reading and I'm just playing hot cakes
Yeah.
at the ceiling again. This is nice.
Throwing pastries at the ceiling. Excellent. All right. Well, let me hand out XP, and then we'll do our shout outs for the day.
We didn't do a
So,
very good job of that one this time.
I mean, it's variable for the different characters. So, did we learn something about Jace Beleren, his conspirators, or servants? And what's funny is that the deeper you get into the conspiracy, the easier this one is every session, because there's just so much ambient conspiracy going on. So, like, yes, everyone earned it this time because
Yeah.
we learned a ton of stuff about like Ral. You don't have any concrete answers yet, but Ral and Tomic, their connection, Tomic's connection to this Teza Karlov.
They had their coming out party.
So they will, yeah. And
We should send
unfortunately,
them
though,
something.
the thing is, Tomic and Ral would probably end up having like a fight after the summit because they have so much pressure riding on it, and it doesn't go good. And Ral probably snaps at Tomic when he goes home, and then Tomic's like, you know, he's hurt, but he responds coldly because he's an Orzhov. Yeah, it doesn't go good.
Pulls
for them.
away.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I
mean-
both care about their political career just a little bit more.
Well, you're raised
Yeah.
among the Orzhov, and you're taught that withholding is like the best way to like keep people in control, and so
Yeah, withholding affection. 100%.
Tomic definitely pulls that move on Ral, and Ral's kind of a hothead, and so they probably have a fight, and he leaves, he like slams the door, and he's like, I have to go work. And then later they like, you know, they make up in the middle of the night. Like Tomic comes to him, he brings him like food, and he's like, I thought you might be hungry, and then they have sex on his desk. So that's my
Wow.
headcanon version of where
I'm
that
sorry,
goes.
Hasbro. Hashtag.
Listen, this is my
I just
revenge.
thought you were gonna beat around the bush for a little while, but nah.
No, listen, making this show and the Planeswalkers in it as gay as possible is my revenge for Chandra, Nissa, and Gideon and all of that bullshit. So Tomic and Ral definitely fuck on his desk. That's canon. Everybody gets a point of
Hear
experience.
that?
Ah,
Yay.
Oh my
Just for that
gosh.
knowledge.
Did you express a unique aspect of your class, race, or background during the session?
I would say Torgor did.
Yep. Torgor's struggles with Demir, and you're accidentally outing yourself as a Demir agent and then clearing it. Very nice. And then
Hate
playing the
it.
Rakdos double agent. That's cool.
Hate it.
Anybody else? I think Winnegar probably.
Sure did not.
Yeah, so Winnegar and Torgor for that one. Express your connection to your guild in a meaningful way. I keep feeling like these two questions kind of overlap so much because class, race, and background tend to just fall under guild anyway. Maybe we should come up with another question instead of the second
guild.
one. Yeah.
Or yeah.
The guild one is really good, but yeah, I'll ponder over it and try to figure out
For sure.
something that we can do for that one. Okay, and then
Yeah, I
lastly,
think it almost
Oh,
could almost
sorry,
be
go
a
ahead.
connection to conspiracy.
Yeah, I was about to
there's-
say, yeah, like the group.
Yeah.
Like something about
Oh,
the group.
yeah.
Like, did we connect to the group?
Oh, that's great.
Aw.
Yeah, that's a good
Constantly
one.
need
Yeah.
to reinvest in each other.
So
I
let me,
think
yeah,
that's
no,
a
and
good
so
goal.
this is no, and this is perfect, and I love that you suggested it because it's really easy not to go off on too much of a DMing tirade here, but it's way too easy to look at reward systems as the GM has all the experience and then the players get it based on what the GM wants to give them, whereas this system is what do you want to be rewarded for and what keeps the game moving in the direction that we're interested in. So shifting the
Baby.
questions totally makes sense. So yeah, why don't we change that second one for the next session to, did you learn something important about a fellow member of the conspiracy?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
shit.
We have to be friends
Okay.
with each other.
I mean, or spy on them.
no.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like
I love spying.
it's about learning, not about like being kind to them. So
I love ruining other people's lives.
This
So
is
you
gonna
can
make
still-
things so wet and wild.
It's like the circle, guys.
No, I hate it. I'm mad.
blue mages are always the best at catfishing.
Don't talk me. I angry.
All right, and then finally, did your alignment complicate your character's life in an interesting way?
Yeah, mine did.
Yes.
Did it, Winnegar?
So yeah, Winnegar, what's your alignment right now?
Neutral good.
Do you want
but
to shift
is-
it to neutral?
Yeah, I think it's being
Or do you-
shifted to neutral,
Well,
or maybe
or-
even
so
chaotic.
I figure you got two choices, right? So you can take an episode and struggle with it and like have a scene where you talk to Torgor or somebody else you trust and like work through it and then decide based on how that goes. Or you can say during off screen, Winnegar internalizes and becomes evil or rejects doing that and hopes to do better in the future. Right. So do you want to give yourself some time or do you want to shift it now?
I think I want to shift now.
Okay.
What's the difference between like neutral good and chaotic good?
So this is the way. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it. It's less relevant to Ravnica because alignment is below guild. Guild is the most important thing. But your alignment, so the difference between those is neutral good. You don't really care about the law, whether you fight it or work within it. It's not really part of your paradigm. You're kind of neutral on it. Doing what's right, regardless of anything else, doing good, that's neutral good, right? Nothing else matters except being good. In a way, it's more focused on the goodness than anything else. Chaotic good is you're like Robin Hood, or like you actively struggle against legal sources of power when they are
Like
oppressing
Batman.
people. Well, yeah, Batman, it's debatable, right? Because Batman,
If you consider Batman a hero, then
Yes,
he would
yeah.
be.
it's
if
well,
you
the idea
consider
is
him on the good spectrum.
you actively undermine structures of power for the sake of good. Chaos
like
is about
Green Arrow.
yeah. If you're chaotic evil, you're not only evil for its own sake, but you're evil because you want to destroy stability. You're out there trying to like cause destabilization. So if you're chaotic good, you're actively like fighting against things like the Azoria Senate, even when they are like sometimes doing good. You recognize that their structures are negative. So it's about action, whether law and chaos matter to Winnegar or not.
Yeah, I think he's like true neutral, but man, like all he would need is one bad thing, or he would need to do one bad thing without consequences to be chaotic, like
Yeah.
or go down that path.
Mhm.
So yeah, true neutral.
Okay.
I think he's moved.
All right. Yeah. So Winnegar shifts to neutrality.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Good. Okay. Well, let's do some shout outs and we'll call it an episode. Masood, why don't you start us off?
Sure. Hey, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Marudeboy, MAHRUDEBOI. You can keep up with what I'm doing in my comedy, what's going on with some of the role-playing games I'm a part of. Yeah, it's a great place to keep track of what's going on. It's a good time. You can catch me here, and then also on Adam's channel on Mondays playing Zweihander. The characters are now developed. We're interacting with one another, and the world is very dark and grim. It's a fun play session. Yeah.
Masood is playing a middle-aged former butler named Mr. Bolvadier
With a black cataract and one eye.
It's pretty great.
Misnamed Mr. Belvedere.
Wesley.
Yeah. Mr. Belvedere to his friends, Mr. Belvedere to his parents. It's a good time.
It's good stuff. Excellent. Cool. Thank you, Masood. Down below, TK, why don't you go next?
You only called on me because you know I'm writing notes.
No, I usually go clockwise or counterclockwise, so you're the next one on my
What
list.
a lie. It's me. It's TK. I write spooky stories. I put them on the internet. If you like spooky stories, you can read them at tkjwrites.com. I forget it every week. Or you can follow me on Twitter. TK joins the fray. Still doing Choose Your Own Nightmare over on Twitter for Tales from the Mist as we're gearing up for our season 3 premiere on Valentine's Day. So that'll be fun. You should vote in that poll or don't, whatever. I'm not your dad. Goodbye.
I'm not your dad. Goodbye. Excellent. Let's go over to this corner. Carlos, happy to have you back.
Yeah.
Do the
good to
thing.
be back. Hey, you can find me on all social media under Carlos Crits. You could also find me on this channel on Sundays at noon Central Standard Time for Rivals of Waterdeep. And you can see us live at C2E2 on Sunday at noon also Central Standard Time. That will not be streamed, but if you are planning on being at C2E2, come watch us play.
It's good of you to get ahead of that question because that's always the next question. That's always it. It's always like, is streamed? And you're like, I wish that it was.
Yeah,
I want it to be, but it isn't.
Couldn't get into the streaming room. So yeah, it would have been nice to just get that one out of the way, but
yeah. Well, if you're at C2E2, it is a rare treat. So go check it out. And last but not least, over here, it's Katie May. Do the thing.
Hi, I'm Katie May. You can find me at Twitter at OKKatieMay. If you ever thought, well, I like this show, but I want more of a queer disaster, you should be listening to Dungeons, Dice, and Everything Nice. It's a show I run with a bunch of women and non-binary friends here in Chicago. It's the love of my life. It's my magnum opus. It's a beautiful disaster, and we will also be at C2E2 this year. It's our 3rd year in a row. Gotta plan that. Last year we did puppets. The year before that it was Guy Fieri themed. So year 3 should be really great. And that's gonna be Saturday at 1:30, I do believe. So yeah, you can do a little sweet little double feature if you're at C2E2.
Very cool. Thank you. I think that's everything. Masood already said the thing I was going to say about Zweihander. So come on over to my channel on Mondays at 5 p.m. and check that out. You can also find me here Monday afternoons if you want an entire day of watching me boss people around in a role-playing game, doing Descent into Avernus. So thank you for coming, everybody. And as usual, if you missed anything, you want to check it out, we got podcasts wherever you listen to those, and we got videos down at our YouTube channel. Check all that stuff out. All of the stuff that you saw today, you can do yourself. Go to roll20.net, sign up for an account. It's free. Check it out. Play some role-playing games. I've recently got some feedback from fans who said, watching this show, and I don't think I shared this with the cast. I had somebody message me and say watching this show inspired them to play Dungeons and Dragons because all the other D&D they had seen took it really seriously. And, and I was like, no, you don't have to. You can just be whatever this garbage fire is. We're very proud of this garbage fire. Thank you for emulating it.
We'll get Jace next week. Don't worry.
Yeah, we got him. He's around. It's fine.
It'll happen.
Oh, next week we've been doing the show for a year. Isn't that
Have we
exciting?
really? Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
Anniversary show.
Yeah, first
Wow.
week, first
Yeah.
Wednesday of February.
Oh, that's so good. I love things like
Yeah.
that. Cool. Well,
Hell yeah.
tune in for the next episode. It'll definitely be a clip show. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
bye.